Hello, everybody. I wanted to come on here this morning and talk about a few things, the bigger picture, and how I was guided through learning about our ancient history, as well as indigenous cultures and everything that exists on this planet that is not of the mainstream, that is not of the main culture that is, there are many different forms of beliefs, I understand this, and that's definitely what makes the world go round. But what I've come to understand and what I've come to discover in my studies, in what I have been guided through, and I'm not going to, I wanted to, I was guided not to bore you with the details of our world's history. You can search it up, look it up, of our astrological history, of ancient indigenous cultures, also confirming a lot of the myths, the traditional teachings, stories, songs, they all say the same thing. Even within religion, before certain powers took over to utilize religion as a form of power and control, even within the distorted texts, or I don't want to say distorted, but within the Bible, there are many, many important pieces that are not there. They were removed purposely. They were discovered, if you want to do some research of the Dead Sea Scrolls. They are being, and they have been discovered before if within other faiths, within the Kabbalah. There's so many ways to get to what I'm about to tell you, get to the truth of the bigger picture for us all. Okay, so let me just take a breath here because I am channeling a lot of this as well. I'm going to start off with predictions. It would be very easy for me to predict the direction that we as a collective humanity are going to go in many different aspects of life. This is how other channelers and predictors were able to get predictions, which some became true, some did not, and I'll explain that as well. There's a reason for that. So within astrological cycles, we are all energetic and we are all following the cycles of energy. And they do come back around. It's not a straight line, as I've been saying. And so with specific cycles, including the ones that we are currently in, specifically with the Saturn and Uranus square, we're given an opportunity to, it's considered, and Pluto is at the last degrees of Capricorn as well. This is the time where we're given an opportunity to, this is considered the breakthrough within astrology. These degree points, these aspects, we are at a point where things are breaking down in order for us to break through illusions. So we don't get these big cycles that often, but you can go back in different phases of life and you will see the same aspects, the same cycles, the same opportunities. 9/11 was certainly one. World War II, the Holocaust was certainly one. I have the chills. Every single war that was ever developed by mankind were those opportunities to make a different choice, to break down the old ways of being, the old ways of acting, seeing, break down the egoic power and control ways, and break through to the spiritual, to the connection, to the unity. Now, there have been points in history where we have had small, I'm going to say small times where predictions of apocalypse did not happen because humanity did break down and break through certain things. We broke down and broke through slavery. We broke down and broke through many injustices. Still exists in some parts of the world. However, if you look at collectively at cycles of how human beings treat each other and act towards each other and towards themselves, you will see an up and down, up and down. And so I could certainly watch the patterns of behavior of human beings and see where this cycle is going to take us and predict what's going to happen. However, I also am aware that I possess the power, as well as you, all of you. We all possess the power to actually change this. So what's the point of predicting some cataclysmic event when internally my power is to stay true to what I desire? I desire harmony. I desire unity. I desire love to be the ultimate energy and the ultimate goal for human beings to go towards. Not money, not power, not control, love. I stand strong and I stand true in this conviction. And I know that it sounds a little out there because we're human beings, because we are emotional, because we've gone through trauma, because we've gone through suffering. That is our conditioning. That is our programming. That is what's keeping us stuck in the program. I no longer want to stay in that program. I decided to jump out of that program years ago. And when I did, I was gifted with a lot of other abilities and a lot of other resources that came into my life when I let go, when I walked away from my old world. Scary, yes it was, terrifying. But I knew that I would not survive on this planet in that old way I was being. Deep down, there was something inside of me that just knew. And so that gave me the strength, that gave me this leap of, it was blind faith at the time. But when I finally did, the universe opened up. And you can't make it up. You can't explain how people, things, places, money, resources, assistance, help comes into your lap. But that does not happen. That will not happen until you walk away for good from the old version of you, from whatever is keeping you in that status quo, in that competition and comparison mode, in that fear, in that worry, in that judgment. You will stay there. It does take a giant leap of faith and to really allow your heart and your soul to guide you, to know what you truly desire. We're given this opportunity to be here on this planet, and we're not given this opportunity to be here on this planet to achieve these giant goals of status and fame or whatever it is. We are here to find ourselves, strip away what has been thrown on us, thrown on our ancestors, decades, centuries, years, thousands and thousands of years. We have reincarnated and repeated these cycles over and over and over again. We've come a long way from some barbaric ways. However, we're not even close to being where we truly could be. And so what I am saying today is that it does not matter really what the astrology is. It does not matter what the energy is. It does not matter what the sun is doing. Yes, there's a potential. There is a potential in the world of infinite potentials that we live in. There's a potential that the sun could completely knock us out of the earth. There's a potential the sun could completely knock out our energy grid, which I also want to speak about. That there's a good potential that happened. It's already happened before. If you research the Carrington event, that was the last bigger solar flare event that was documented way, way back when the telegraph was first invented and utilized. And it knocked out whatever energy grid had just been established there. electrocuted a bunch of people that were working the machines and operations, and everything was down. Not that big of a deal back then because people used their resources in a different way than we do today. But, and watching this sun's activity, if that happened today, which there is a big possibility that it could, and if it does, I feel that most of us will be okay. However, the possibility of that being our cataclysmic event is pretty strong. I'm not the only one predicting this, which I don't like to predict, but you cannot ignore the writing on the walls. You cannot ignore the messages from the stars. You cannot ignore the warning signs. This is an important aspect of the game of life. Yes, it is all about love, unity, harmony. But to get there, we've got to go through some hoops. We've got to go through some pain, some struggle, some suffering to be able to rise up out of that and realize, hey, I'm still okay. I'm actually more than okay. I actually feel lighter now. So think about, what is it that you would truly value if, say, our entire energy grid was wiped out by a solar flash, huge solar flash, which means no electricity, no Wi-Fi, no satellite signals, nothing. Dead. Back to the ancient times. There is a huge possibility of that. I'm not predicting it, but it is in the back of my mind that if that happens, oh yeah, okay. I feel like this is also the sun giving us opportunities to start to minimalize a little bit more. We're in such a culture of materialism, and we use resources unconsciously, overuse resources unconsciously. And I feel like this is definitely one of the big messages that the universe is sending to humanity as a whole, to slow down. Pay attention. You know, how much of the Earth's resources are you personally using? And what are you doing with your time, your energy? We're going to be going through another big squeeze, October, November, as I've been saying, through Saturn, Uranus squaring, again, being an exact square, along with the last eclipse cycle of the year, for the Scorpio Taurus axis. This is going to be a huge event for humanity, for another opportunity for that breakdown, breakthrough. What will you choose when it comes your turn? Because it is each an individual choice to stay in the familiar, in the comfortable, in the old, because it feels safe, because it's something I know, or to break free from that and follow your heart, follow what you feel is right for you. Each and every single human on this planet will be faced with this choice. A lot of us have already been faced with this choice, but there are layers and cycles within humanity as well. There are groups that are beginning to wake up to this reality now, and finding it difficult to understand, wrap their head around, or make a firm choice because the polarity is so strong. The pull from one side is immense, and that is what we all grew up with. We are all familiar with. However, it is becoming very unfamiliar quickly. And then there is the other side. That is our birthright, that we were born into this planet with this specific energy of our soul, our heart, and it's calling to us. It's calling strong, and it feels like home. It feels right. I highly suggest to go with what truly feels right, not with what your head is saying. This doesn't feel safe. I don't know this. Go with what the heart, what your body is telling you. And the signs. There are going to be millions and millions of signs that are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger for each and every one of us, screaming to us, Are you sure this is where you want to go? Are you sure this is the choice that you want to make? So understand that the end of this year is all about choices for us. It's all about breaking down the old, breaking through that dense, the conditioning, the programming. It's built in our mind. I call it the karmic trench because we have certain patterns of thought and belief that have run its course over and over and over again through the brain, the neurotransmitters just constantly going in that feedback loop over and over and over again, building a deep trench in the brain, in the communication system of the brain. We can override that, but it takes the frontal lobe, it takes the heart, actually. It takes getting in touch with yourself deep inside and getting in touch with how you feel. And that's another thing that humanity is just beginning to wake up on, feelings again. I know I've been saying this a lot, but it's true. I've been witnessing it. I experienced it. I didn't realize in my past that I hadn't been feeling as much as I should have been. I didn't want to. Most of the feelings didn't feel so good, but I had to realize that was my internal guidance system. You know why it didn't feel good? Because I was in a place that I wasn't supposed to be in anymore. My body, my emotions, my sensations were telling me that. And I'm numbing them out, distracting it, and just like, I don't know why I don't feel so good here. Because the surroundings were so familiar, it didn't match what I felt. Eventually, I had to break through that and see the truth of the situation. But when you're in it, it's very hard. So I will keep talking about these things. Again, this is channeled message. So whatever came through, I hope that if it resonated for you and where you are at in your journey right now, that it was helpful for you. And I'm going to continue with the zodiac readings today and tomorrow. And yeah, I'll just kind of go with the flow right now. So hope you guys are all well. Take care. Love you. Bye.